All right, friends, it's T-Man, and I'm back with a new video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about, it's an educational video, I guess you could call it that, yeah. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the marbling of your muscle. That's right. Getting fat deposits. I've always wanted to make this video before. I've always known this. Usually happens to animals that eat food that's not part of their diet, like cows eating grains. So, well, guess what happens when you eat these cows that eat food that they're not supposed to eat? Well, they also get dysbiosis, and that's also passed on to humans. Dysbiosis and this marbling in their muscle. So, I'm going to just read this off AI. Yes, muscles can accumulate fat, a process sometimes referred to as marbling or fat infiltration. That's the reason why you want to eat grass-fed beef. You don't want to eat cows that eat grains, or even corn for that matter. This occurs when fat deposits within the muscle tissue, creating a marbled appearance similar to that of meat. This fat accumulation can have various effects, including impacting muscle function and potentially contributing to metabolic issues. Elaborating. Marbling in meat. If beef marbling refers to the intramuscular fat, that fat found within the muscle tissue, this fat adds to the flavor and tenderness of the meat. Well, yeah. Muscle fat in humans. Similarly, humans can have fat deposited within their muscles, and a phenomenon known as myosteatosis, or fat infiltration. Impact on muscle function. This fat accumulation can impair muscle function, potentially leading to reduced strength and mobility, and may contribute to various metabolic conditions. When I was younger, I didn't know that. I learned this late in life, and it's been wearing on my head for a long time. Anyways, metabolic implications. Fat infiltration in muscles can have impact overall metabolic health, potentially leading to insulin resistance and other metabolic disorders. I realize that. I find a lot of people are becoming dysfunctional, and a lot of their dysfunction is due to this marbling in their muscle because they're eating animals that are eating food that they're not supposed to, and it's being passed on to us. Anyway, factors influencing muscle fat. Several factors can contribute to muscle fat accumulation, including genetics, diet, activity levels, and age. Okay. Research on muscle fat. There is an ongoing research exploring mechanisms for infiltrating muscles and its impact on health. So I'll read the next one that I took out from NC or from AI. This one right here. Marbling in humans, in human muscle, also known as intramuscular fat, IMF, is primarily caused by a combination, well, they're going to say it's caused by a combination of aging, metabolic diseases. It's really caused by you eating animals that are not eating their proper diet. All right, it's not typically a norm part of healthy muscle, but rather an accumulation of fat within the muscle tissue itself. Triggers of fat infiltration. Well, they're going to tell you age, metabolic diseases, muscle injury, which triggers it. But when you really go into it, it's because these animals, what they're eating. So yeah, they're going to tell you fat accumulation, factors influencing it. What are the factors? Well, genetic plays a role. Nutrition. The diet of an animal, particularly the type of feed, example, grain versus grass, can significantly impact marbling levels. Yeah. That really is the answer right there. Then they're going to tell you age and breed. Well, you don't want to eat old animals. That's another one. Old meat. That's bad. And the breed of the animal. The age of the animal and its breed can also influence marbling development. So if you're eating these, it's not good. Genetics. Genetic factor plays a role in the development of marbling in livestock. Well, yeah, I don't know about genetics, man. If you're feeding them these fucking fake foods, what did you expect, right? What did they expect? So yeah, it comes down to it's the animals you're eating, really. At least they gave it to you in this one. Now they're going to talk about metabolic issues. Well, we already know it's causing this. Increased risks of falls and fractures, yeah. because of this problem. Fat infiltration can contribute to insulin resistance and other metabolic problems. That's why I'm really careful now I'm more careful than ever, about what type of beef I'm eating. And I eat a lot of seafood. I try to eat wild seafood, okay? So whatever. I move in that direction. At least you have that wild seafood. Christ, I mean, the food that they feed us today is just garbage. But anyway, so yeah. These implications of muscle fat infiltration: reduced muscle strength and function. Fat accumulation in muscle tissue can impair muscle function and lead to a decline in strength. There you go. That could be affecting a lot of people today. I don't know. It probably most likely is. Okay. So, in summary, marbling in human muscle. And I've been really scared about this. Yeah. IMF is a condition where fat accumulates within the muscle tissue, often associated with aging, metabolic diseases, and other factors. While not a normal part of healthy muscle, it can have negative impacts on muscle function and overall health. The question is, how do you reduce it, or how do you get rid of it? Well, stop eating these animals. That's for sure. That's one of them. Look for grass-fed meat. Me personally, I do buy here from, New Zealand, grass-fed New Zealand meat. So yeah, I know that New Zealand, they grass feed their animals. They're grass-fed. They're properly fed, and you can buy it. I could still buy it here. I don't know, in the U.S. you could still buy New Zealand beef, because I know they're a big exporter of meat to the U.S. and Canada as well. So yeah, should be so lucky to get grass-fed meat. Yeah. Anyways, man, I hope that helped. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Yeah. Fat accumulation, intermuscular fat. This refers to the fat that accumulates between muscle groups and is visible externally. Intramuscular fat. This is the fat that accumulates within the muscle tissue itself, appearing as white flecks or stake within the muscle fibers. This is fat stored within the individual muscle cells, myocytes. So not bad. That's bad. Intramyocellular lipid. Okay. Other factors. Environmental. All right, friends. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao. Be very careful what you put in your body, man. So you're in danger, bro. People don't know what they're eating today. They just eat whatever. Just don't just sit there and put whatever in your mouth. Think about what you're eating. See you in the next one. Ciao.